with a 0-0 end of one at Bridgestone Arena. The Chicago Blackhawks and Nashville Predators. Pete Weber and Terry Crisp upstairs at our broadcast location. And as we mentioned earlier, there was controversy last night in the overtime at Minnesota. And it all revolves around a rule or an interpretation of the rule, which actually was put into effect this year in the NHL, Terry, on faceoffs. Let's take a look and get some examples of the play.
And it all starts, Pete, with you're not allowed to touch the puck with your hand at all, meaning the faceoff guys. On a poor drop like that, the puck drops up, down. Gostad hit it with his hand, and the rule reads you cannot touch the puck with your hand during the faceoff. But watch the guy throw it down, Pete. Bounces up once. That should have been a do-over. The linesman should have blew the whistle, said, this is not a good one, guys. We're going to do it over. Instead, they gave Gostad a 2-minute penalty.
So it was thrown rather than dropped. But here is the rule and the letter. Both players facing off are prohibited from batting the puck with their hand in an attempt to win the faceoff. Any attempt by either center to win the faceoff by batting the puck with their hand will result in a minor penalty. Now, among the people involved in the conference over the summer was Predators head coach Barry Trotz about this new rule. Let's hear what he had to say about that.
I was a little upset last night because I don't think that's the intent of the rule. And therefore, obviously I talked to some league officials last night because I wasn't very happy. But at the same time, hopefully they're proactive. I mean, this is one of those things that you don't dot the I and cross the T because you don't think of all the different situations that come up. And I think this is one situation that will definitely have to be reviewed because it's a pretty tough way to lose a game. I don't know if we would have won the game or not, or won a shootout, but at the same time, I'd like to have that opportunity to find out.
So there you have it, Terry, what Barry Trotz had to say. And in our talk this morning with hockey operations in Toronto, they said, well, the gray area here is that rule was designed for pucks in play on the ice. This was elevated.
On the ice, Pete. What they're doing was, when the puck was laying between their legs, they were just scooping it like you're hiking a football.
Right.
And that was intended to stop the centerman from doing that play either way on it. But nobody said, what happens when it bounces up in the air and you hit it like it did the other night in Minnesota, Pete?
Right.
And Gostad got penalized for it. When actually the linesman's the guilty culprit of this one. Look at the fact, like that is a poor drop to begin with. One bounce up in the air. They're both already making their move. Yeah. Gostad and the other centerman had made their move. So then it hits Gostad's hand. It's not really his fault, but the letter of the law says that you cannot touch the puck, bat it with your hand in any form at all.
Now, when you put in new rules, there's oftentimes the period of time where they have to come up with some modifications. We got the message this morning that might well be coming on this.
Exactly, and by the letter of the law, it probably was the right call. But by common sense call in hockey, the linesman who caused all of that should have just waved it off and said, it's a do-over. But the minute that it hit the hand, he almost like he panicked and said, oh, whoa, that hit a hand, I have to call it. And he did.
You might recall similar with a new rule when they started the shootout. Jeremy Roenick scored on a rebound of his shot against Nashville, and later on they decided that could be reviewed by video.
And when we talked to Mike Murphy today in the Situation Room up in Toronto, Pete, he was very adamant about it. He said, guys, we know that people are upset about it. He said, it will be addressed. It'll probably be talked about. As Coach Trotz, you just heard from him saying, yeah, they will have to amend it to say, what about in the air? What are we going to do about that?
Right. So there's a look at that controversy from last night. And yes, it was the correct call by letter of the law. Our First Division coverage continues in just a few moments.